If you're trying to tell me that your consumption is not connected to the production, you are wrong. You are simply wrong. And I apologize to be so direct about that because most people don't like to hear that kind of thing. But what you consume, what you do in your daily life is your maximum vote. It's the most power you have. You're creating everything that happens next, and you're influencing people around you, and you are supporting all of the evil organizations that you think control you, okay, that do actually control you, because you're giving them all of your energy. So your consumption is actually signing on to a form of consumer slavery that actually consumes the world's energy and destroys it. Your consumption is killing the world. It's you. It's you. It's you. And, you can say you're an activist or you do this or that or you talk about this or that, you post something online or whatever. What is it you're doing? How much are you consuming? It's you as an individual. And then, how awesome are you being? Because you got to be really awesome, right? And then influence the people around you to be consuming less and living better at the same time, which is totally doable. In fact, it's preferable. Finding your value in how much you consume is a poor idea, and it's what's happening all around the world. Increasingly, it's the goal. That is the goal, and it will completely flatten the planet of all life. That's how it is. And so some people say to me, like, well, what you as an individual doesn't really matter. Like, it's those evil corporations or something, or somebody else should do something. And it's like, no, it's you, the person who I'm talking to right now inside my little camera here. It's you. You are in charge of the entire fucking world now, okay? Your world, everything you do, you're responsible. You are personally responsible. So don't be some political party, don't be a gender, don't be a race, don't be any of these things, okay? You, and don't even be an earth warrior or any whatever somebody makes up or something. Just be a person who inventories their whole life and then looks at the inputs and outputs, what they're creating, and then thinks, oh, well, which parts of that do I want or not want? What options do I have? Maybe I want to escape my religion. I did that. Totally. It was very difficult. And maybe you want to create one. That'd be another whole crazy idea. Imagine it. Maybe you can think about what comes into your home and what goes out of your home. And so maybe you want to produce less waste by buying less waste. You want to think about everything you eat. It's just all these things. You have this immense power. And so this kind of whiny little attitude of like, I hate how things are. I understand. Okay. I've seen the world. I've read history. I've been around. But without the how am I going to create the new world aspect is just whiny bullshit. So I'm very much into the idea of create your own world. And then I have the problem. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. It's impossible on your own, and most everything, all the forces of culture and society are against you. I mean, you're in big trouble if you want to change anything. You can have your delusions, you can paint your sign and make a protest or something, but the forces that exist to make the world the way it is are immense. They're like the ocean. And you're like a tiny, tiny little swimmer. You could swim in the ocean. You think you're going to change the currents of the ocean? No, you're not. So, and then people say, well, you should get together. Well, band together and fight the evil. The problem is we don't agree on what the evil is, and most of you are the evil, actually. I don't think I am, of course. I try and do the best I can do. I've gone to the absolute limit I can possibly go to on trying to be a good person, okay? There's nowhere more I can go but into death. And so if you think I'm better off dead, feel free to comment. I feel like I'm failing, because I haven't convinced enough people, even on some basic things, I think, like water conservation and not shitting in clean water, and different ways of agriculture. I could definitely. Well, the thing is, no one's going to agree with me or give a shit what I say until I prove that it's somehow more profitable. But the methods I use are completely non-profitable, and they're so long-term, and they will never produce. They'll never compete with oil-fueled economy. That's the deal. They'll never compete. I cannot compete with an oil-fueled economy, and until civilization collapses, the things I think and the ways I do things will not actually be very interesting to most people. Most people just want to use as much as they're able to, and they're going to, take everything from the planet that they can and use all the resources. And that's not their plan. That's not what they're thinking in their head. But that's what their actions result in. It's just total destruction of the planet. That's just how we're going to do things. We're like yeast in a wort to make a beer or something. We're just going to expand the population. That's not totally true, actually. We're killing ourselves. So there may be a point where we start dying off. But once we start dying off, we're also going to experience some other weird social aspects. And we have all these existential threats, many of which we've created. And so one of those will happen, and then they will create a chain of collapse. And human civilization will completely collapse. That is kind of a certainty. And so I'm actually working to make solutions for, during that process, how can we remember smarter ways to do things, to not be such spoiled little humans that we pollute the entire earth, and start to wonder how we can even survive at all on a recovering earth, on a more beautiful planet that the oceans could recover. Oceans used to be so full of fish and whales and all sorts of stuff, and now they're almost empty by comparison. Okay, we're killing off species. We're next. We're polluting our bodies. I mean, our bodies are totally polluted. Apparently, I have Teflon in my body. There was a documentary called "The Devil You Know," I believe it was, but there's other toxic chemicals that just are all through the planet. I mean, plastics are probably the worst. We're killing ourselves, and we just don't notice it because it's kind of slow. So what do you do in the face of that? Well, what I do is, right now I'm just trying to walk around again. That's my main goal. And then I'm supposed to provide value to the universe or something, which I guess I should try and do. The commercial universe that exists is not one that interests me that much. But, I use things from it, and I'm totally not against capitalism. I don't know what capitalism is exactly, so agree or disagree, but don't do either one, because I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what that word means. It depends on what it means, and when I ask people what it means, they have totally different definitions, so I could be a total capitalist, or I could be anti-capitalist. I have no clue at all. That's okay. I forgot what this video was about when I started recording it, and so I got shit to do. I'm going to start posting a lot more videos. If you like what I say, apparently you might, because you're at the end of this video, then keep me alive. That's it. My life is actually at stake today. It's going to be a tough day. It's a strange day. And I got a lot of cool projects going on that I'm trying to define better and explain to you better so that you can know what you're supporting. But I, for some reason, have ended up being a person who does very odd projects and in some odd ways. So become a person who is a supporter of that kind of art, the art that is Brian Fay, and we'll see what happens. It's an advertisement. That's an actual advertisement for myself. Wow, it's very cheesy. Good Lord. Buy me. Buy Brian Fay today. Brand Fay is on sale today. You can get the real Brand Fay on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, sent directly to your home. Oh, I may have completely gone insane now. It's possible. Not really, because I still know the difference between right and wrong. In fact, I know the difference between right and wrong more than I ever have in my life. Yeah. It's tough shit. It's very windy out today. I like it. It's winter. Normally, what is it? March now? March, April. No, it's totally not normally cloudy, not normally windy. It's normally just hot days, you know. But I love this weather right now. The clouds are beautiful. It makes great lighting. In fact, I should be out there right now, but I accidentally came inside and took a nap. It was very pleasant. I took a nap. Fuck. Okay, so I gotta go do shit, and you're taking up all my time. I'm not sure why you're continuing this, of taking up my time. You know, I got things to do, and I can't just sit around and talk to you all day. Jeez. Yeah, today I have to become stronger than before. It's a hardcore thing. Dogs matter. They didn't all get fed last night because they weren't all here. But the dogs are confused as hell because things are changing, you know, their feeding system and stuff. And so I got to feed them today better than yesterday. And I got to figure out how to feed me. And yeah, this is going to be like one of the most interesting nights I've had in a long time. And I'm totally alone in it. It's okay. I'm good at being alone. Excellent at it. Arr. Just thinking about today tires me out. But I'll make it till tomorrow. Fucking spilled stuff and there's weird bugs falling on my head. Not at the moment. Goddamn. Well, I'll see you later. So somebody asked me if I would take money as a donation from the KKK. That's the Ku Klux Klan, I believe. It was a Democrat organization for a lot of American history. They wear white hoods and shit, you know, and they're racist and stuff. And, you know, they're just using that group as an example, I guess. But, yeah, I'd take money from anybody. Why not? I mean, what I'm doing is good, and I really don't care where the money came from. I just care that people care about the earth, and it's just, I don't understand why we give a shit, you know? Like, it doesn't mean that I'm condoning the view of anyone who hands me money. You know, if I was a beggar in the street, right, and I took $1 from someone out of their hand, would it matter to me what that person's affiliation with various demographic groups or views is? No, it would not. And so I'm a beggar, not a chooser, I guess. You know, so I don't care. Like left, right, I am not left or right. That's the deal. And it really sucks because if I was more left or right, then I would find more supporters. Like if I would join a group and I would say, well, I'm with you guys and I post these kind of memes and I hate the other bad people, then I would get way more support. I really would, from somebody, whoever I joined up with. But I'm on Earth's side. And no one actually, in pragmatic reality, almost no one actually gives a fucking shit about the environment of the Earth. That's my impression. Sorry. And if you're a person who thinks you do, well, I hope you're doing something good. And hey, friend me on social media or whatever. Because almost no one actually gives a shit in reality in their actions. They got big talking and no doing. And you know, I'm doing all I can do, and you know, I'm so alone. It's like this is not profitable greenwashing bullshit. It's just one guy removing himself as much as he can, putting every resource. I put every resource I have into planting this forest and making this forest this strange balance of a forest that can produce the most for people and be the most biodiverse, biomassive, which is you know, trickier thing in some ways if you're trying to do this kind of weird project. So this is changing the relationship of humans and the nature around them, and that involves everything. In my case, it's me. You know, fuck, I'm totally fucked. You know, look at fuck my head. You know, I've been here so fucking long, and you know, I'm just trying to change the existence of civilization. Really, like how do we live in a place? And so, luckily, I live in a place that's amazing, and it's let me play with it. And I still don't live. People ask these dumbass questions like, "Oh, can you live 100% off the food on your land?" Yeah, I could, and it would totally suck. I mean, are you a dumbass? Jesus, fuck. I'm sorry. That's really rude. I totally apologize. People have to learn shit, right? And some of them are young or dumb. Don't be those things. If you're young, get older, and if you're dumb, well, good luck. It's a thrill to be here and do this project. There is no other project like this because I'm not profit motivated, which is why I have no money. This project will change a lot if I get funding, and that's an interesting topic that I should talk about. Is if I had funding, what would I do with it, right? And I'm writing up different projects. I decided that's one of the things I need to do is get better at that. Because I think that the ideas I have are the ideas of the future. You know, you look at guys like Buckminster Fuller. You know, he's a cool dude. He had a lot of good ideas. Doesn't mean he had the best ideas, or it doesn't mean his ideas apply perfectly to now. But he was a guy with foresight. You know, he saw the future. And a lot of his ideas are still very applicable today. And so what we have to do is learn from past intelligent people, theoretically intelligent, possibly evil, you never know. Yeah. So, and then implement those ideas. I mean, are you living with a philosophy that actually functionally is in tune with reality and makes sense of the future? That's a good question. I'll ask you. I mean, you answer it. Are you doing it or not? Because you could. And it would be hard. Because if you actually, and you go do your own research and your own, you know, thoughts about what reality is and what's going on, but if you actually were living in tune with a potential positive future that could exist for the planet, then you would probably have to make very extreme changes to your life, right? You can't keep living the way you are and have the world have an outcome that you think is good. And that's partly because we are, you know, interpersonally infected with very poor communication. That will be indicated by whatever comments I get on this video. You can write some nice ones. I would love it. That'd be fine. But, you know, I mean, social media has made me lose my faith in humanity almost. It's like, oh my God, I was hoping that the world would meet itself, like via the internet. You know, in the 80s, I was on the pre-web internet, and I was optimistic that there would be this global kind of consciousness that evolved, and and it would be just this really amazing thing that was imagined, but it isn't happening because people are really impolite, mean, crude, dumb, hateful, and even some of my closest friends, people I've known for decades now, uh, back in Seattle, are some of the worst cases, and it's really sad for me. You know that some people I thought were loving, good people. Some of them lived in my home. You know, and it doesn't matter whether I'm referring to people on the right or left or whatever. These are wrong things to have going on. You know, we have to talk to each other and not put each other in categories. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are just actively putting themselves into categories as hard as they can. And that's their fucking category. That's their fucking group. Yeah. And I'm going to hurt those other people who aren't in my group. And it's like, oh my fucking Lord, are you serious? You know, I've tried to live my life, my whole life, as a person who is trying to be as kind as I can to everybody I can be, and I'm still working on it. You know, it's just ongoing. I'll die sometime, and it's like this